Hello, everyone. My name's Taj Mahal. Well, I mean, not really. Um, but my username is THGJPTDDDO / Taj Mahal. And you're currently tuned into, rather, Late and Live with Taj Mahal here on Thomas the Tank Engine Community Radio. We have some viewers already. I would like to thank all of you for watching, whether you're watching live or late. I guess that I've never thought of that before. That's the term late and live. It like works in two separate ways because like we are both like the show itself is both late at night and live. But I guess you can also watch it while it's live and while you're late. That's what the sequel to the program Late in Live is going to be titled. It will be called Later Than Live. But seriously, thank you all for tuning in. It's been an interesting couple months. I think a lot of you kind of know that I've been going through some rough patches. Um, but it's summer. It's not really summer, but it's summer for me because I'm done with finals week at college. Went very well, happy to say. And I wish you all the same luck in your finals, whether that be at college, high school, middle school, wherever. We all have like final exams and so on. So I wish you all the best of luck. And I'm just very excited now because this upcoming summer is going to be the summer of Late and Live. I can feel it already. I'm going to try to crank out more episodes. I'm going to do, all of these different things. And there are some very exciting announcements as well pertaining to Late and Live. I'm seeing, wait a minute, reading 3640 Studios. You said, guys, this is very epic. And then right now you said, this is very spooky. So is it spooky or is it epic? I don't know. It maybe let's say it's epically spooky. I almost said epically stupid, but it's that too. I'm this 19-year-old kid from Minnesota who thought that, hey, it would be a good idea if I hosted a late night program. People would enjoy that, and it's funny because like the thing that most people think of when they watch a late night program is like the set. Like people recognize, like, oh, that's Conan O'Brien's set. That's Jimmy Fallon's set. That's James Corden's set. Um, but I don't even have that. So you're just looking at this very dark, uh, noirish profile pic with this crummy TV from the 70s that you're watching me doing my best Dick Cavett impersonation. But anyway, enough of the goofing off. No, not enough of the goofing off. I'm going to be doing lots of goofing off. What am I saying? I'm talking to myself, am I? Well, I mean, there's no one else here, so I guess I need to. But yeah, this is a very special episode of Late and Live because it's our 1 anniversary special. Not exactly right on the dot, but in that rough period, for those who do not know, Late and Live was actually a rebooted program. It took its concept from this old program that I had on my channel back in 2014, 2015 called Monday Night Live, which was when I would host just live streams and we would play games. And then I'd also tried to, ask certain questions to make the viewers be able to learn a little bit more about all of the different users that were featured on. And that program kind of fizzled out around 2015. I kind of fizzled out around 2015, not going to lie. But then last year with COVID and me wanting to reach out and actually being inspired by Thomas the Tank Engine Community Radio to get back into content creation, I decided, hey, what about I reboot Monday Night Live? And so that happened approximately, like, that happened last May. I'm going to say May 4th. I don't have the time right up, the date right up, rather. Um, but then I got the call from Thomas the Tank Engine Community Radio, who said that I was that they were interested in adding my program to the roster. And so now for like the past 11 months, um, it's we've been late and live with Taj Mahal, and I've had a multitude of guests on, and I have two very special guests on tonight. Two very longtime friends of mine, both of whom have been on the program before in some iteration or another. The first one, or rather the second, he'll be joining us later, is Roman'sTWREmpire, who was one of the original guests on Monday Night Live all the way back in 2014. And so I invited him to the kickoff back in May of last year. So this, and then he also appeared on the very special 1,000 subscriber special as well, being a member of the winning team for the Thomas Trivia Challenge. And then I also have Michael Chernjawski on, perhaps better known to all of you as Mike 123, who was also a guest way back in the day, and a member of that same Skype group, actually, and was also on the very first episode of Late and Live with Taj Mahal, this one being on my channel. I know this is a lot of information, but I need to get it out of the way because it's a 1-year anniversary special. This is like the setup. Like in a good story, there's always a good setup. So, like the setting, like that the story takes place in. So I'm setting up. Speaking of which, I'm seeing lots of comments from lots of I guess I would call you all friends. Friends of the program at the very least, frequent viewers, some people who have been on the show, such as Useful Engine 11. And it's just so great to see all of you. It really is. Let me respond to some of these comments because I'm going to do like a really crummy monologue. I have been doing a really crummy monologue. What am I talking about? And I need a little bit of inspiration. So Reading 3640 Studios says, I once bought a limited edition golden Conan O'Brien Funko Pop for $23, expecting to be able to sell it for twice the price. I checked today and everyone's selling it for $10. Man, you struck out. You struck out. What can I say? I must say though, Conan is my favorite late night host that's like going on now. He's going to be retiring. I believe he's going to be moving more onto the podcast stream of things. You never know. He might become a member of Thomas the Tank Engine Community Radio. Weirder things have happened. But yeah, I'm sorry. I've never been the biggest Funko Pop collector. I love that you are like a collector, but I've never been that. Now, if you want to talk to like Lego Lover about that, then that's fine. I know he's like the person in the community who I know gets Funko Pops. I just don't. I have exactly two. One of Crow T Robot and the other one of Tom Servo, both from Mystery Science Theater 3000. And that's more just because of my my connection to the show. And Mike is a amiibo, at least he was. He used to, I believe. He's in the waiting room, by the way. I'm forcing him to wait. Then we have Rusty number 5. Late and Live Summer should be called Unbearably Hot Late and Live. I have a better idea for a show program name. I think Late and Live Summer Edition should just be called Unbearable. Oh, certainly. I agree with that statement. Anyway, I'm dying out here. I'm dying out here. So with that being said, it's finally come time to introduce my first guest tonight. That being, once again, a longtime friend of mine, the first guest ever to appear on Late and Live with Taj Mahal. the original program, and I guess the last person to appear on Monday Night Live, I believe. He is an iconic member of the Thomas the Tank Engine community, and I just wanted to invite him on to see what he's been up to, and to maybe revisit some of the topics we were talking about last time round. So everyone, put your hands together for Michael Chernjawski. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had my volume muted for some reason. I was like, wait a minute, you're not talking? And then I needed to like click, click, click. So how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, I gotta be honest, this past week has been quite the roller coaster.
Oh yeah, I've
So
heard. I've
maybe
heard.
not so much fantastic, but yeah, I got into a pretty serious car accident on Sunday, but thank goodness everyone involved is okay. Um, I'm just kind of taking my mind off of it, just going into my other outlets. So for
Yeah,
me, that's watching sports. I love sports, and then also listening to music. That's just
yeah,
you
and
know.
we talked about music a lot last time. Not so much sports, but I'm very much happy that you're okay and that everything worked out on that front. Um, or maybe not everything, but that you're
Yeah,
okay at the very least.
things are still not completely worked out, but we're still working on getting everything back on track. But
Yeah, and I just want to, I know I've said before, but we're just all so happy that you're okay.
yeah,
Um, we have a comment from somebody. Useful Engine 11 actually says, "Oh my goodness, it's Mike 123. Where have you been all these years?" Well, I guess I should be asking you, what have you been up to this past year? Because the last time we talked was back in June, and just for some reason, we've just been so caught up and so busy with other things that we've just not been able to touch bases in the time between. So, how are you doing?
honestly, I mean, mostly school is mostly what I've been up to for the past
Mm.
year, and that's I mean, I'm in my third year of college now, just about to finish up my third year, so
Oh,
that's
what are you?
exciting. Oh,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
This,
No, go ahead.
what you're hearing right now is the delay that's present on StreamYard, where it's like, but um, what if you don't mind sharing? What are you like majoring in, if anything?
I'm studying exercise science,
Oh,
so that's just going over how the body reacts to exercise. All the mechanics of joint movements and stuff like that.
was
Um,
this did this come from your interest in sports?
Yeah, partially. I'm not sure yet what I want to do with it. I've told myself because I could be a chiropractor, and early on, I was thinking, maybe chiropractic, and I still haven't ruled that out. But there are a lot of different directions that I could go, so I'm happy that I'm in a major where there are a lot of different avenues to go down.
That's so exciting. I actually have I have a family member. I'll leave it vague because I like to leave
Oh
things
yeah,
vague
of
because I
course.
know that if I reveal just the smallest thing, that people are just going to track me down. And that's a scary notion in the Thomas community. Maybe it's not. I trust most of you, all of you watching.
So
Um,
let's hope Jack isn't watching the stream. Oh,
well,
sorry, I wasn't around then, so I can't make the jokes.
I was around, so I can give you permission to. I think I've told you the story on Leighton Live before, where like I was like just a little kid, and so I didn't know what was going on with Sir Topham Hatt 291. So like when he said he was shutting his channel down, I was like, "Oh, we're all gonna miss you," without realizing all the stuff that was going on. Um, but I actually have a family member who works in exercise in the field of like business. Like I don't know how to really describe it vaguely, but they're a trainer, I guess, and
Understood.
so and quite successful actually. They're very successful. So it's a lucrative field. I would really, I think that's great, because I think a lot of people sometimes are like wondering which way to go, especially in the Thomas community, because like um we're such a tightly knit community that sometimes it feels like pursuing an interest outside of that, or maybe even like leaving and pursuing another interest can sometimes be very almost daunting.
Right. No, I mean, first of all, I just want to apologize. I had to unplug my mic. It was giving me some issues. So if there's echoing, I do apologize for that. But
I'm not hearing any, but that's a question to leave to the audience, I suppose.
yeah, let us know if there are any issues. But no, I've been making this joke for years, but it just seems like everyone in the Thomas community, once they start going to college, everyone studies film because yeah, I mean, that's not a knock on anyone. Film
Oh
is
no.
definitely a very um, it's a very difficult skill to master and hone. And but I mean, you see the films coming out today, and you have to be so skilled to succeed. And I know a lot of people in this community who I think have shown that they can go above and beyond what people would normally expect from a group of people who film trains,
Yeah, I
to,
completely
to
agree.
put it plainly. But um the way, I don't know, I always just kept my options open. I focused because by the time I was going into college was the time that I was, already winding down from, my involvement in the community, especially with making videos. And I mean, anyone who knows me closely enough knows that, I just, I had the passion, but I didn't have the motivation. And that's, you need that in order to, stay consistent with an upload schedule. And it didn't, I don't know, I don't think it was for me in the end,
That's a
looking back, but I'm still proud of a lot of the work that I had done, when I was making videos. But when I came to college, I was, it wasn't a long term, aspiration of mine to continue making videos. I knew at some point that I would have to, stop and, you know, um, I don't know, but it's
I
again,
get what
like,
you're saying.
no, yeah, just like studying film never really crossed my mind either. I was first in college for engineering, and then I just realized how much I hated physics, and I didn't realize how much math I had to do. Like, by no means was I bad at math in school. Like, I was good at it, but I also just had really bad professors freshman year, so it kind of just turned me off completely from engineering. So, I'm looking for other options, and I see exercise science, and it's stuff like anatomy and physiology, and that stuff I'd always been fascinated with, how the body works. And this summer, even in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be taking a class for 8 weeks, just studying anatomy. So, I'm
Oh,
excited for that. And my advice that I can give you, that I the only advice that I can give anyone, pick a major that you're going to succeed in, because if you have the passion, if you have the same passion for your major as you do for like your hobbies, say Thomas, for example, if someone's really passionate in Thomas and there's something else that they're really passionate in, try pursuing it in college. You know, I was always really good with history in school, and I kind of shied away from it because I didn't know what the career outlook was like in the history
yeah.
field. But
History
I
implies
know a few history
education.
majors myself, so, and all the power to them. I love geography too, but I never pursued that in college. But just do what you love. Don't just study something that you like. Study something that you love.
Yeah. I would really agree with that. I am majoring in music right now, music
Oh, I mean,
education actually.
that's
Um
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
But I will say I have considered mass communication as well, which entails like radio, film, television, newsprint, if that'll still be a thing by the time I come of age. Um,
Right.
and so I really do relate to a lot of what you're saying. I really, really do. One thing that really fascinated me that you just said was you had the passion, but you didn't have the motivation. Now that statement just is really like intellectually like stimulating. And so I need to ask, what do you see as being the difference between motivation and passion?
For me, passion was I would be literally anywhere in school, on Skype calls with everyone, just going about my normal daily routine. And something would pop into my mind, like an idea for a video. And I was like, this sounds great. And I would like start writing out a script or something on Google Docs. And then I just hit a creative block like almost every time. And it was
Mm,
just, I don't know. I've always, not always, I've started to overcome it as I got through college, but I had suffered from, a lack of motivation, and just thinking of, understand that if you have a big project, sometimes the process is going to be grueling and daunting and, extraneous, but you need like once you finish it, it's so satisfying. And I just never could bring myself, not never, but most of the time I couldn't bring myself to get over the hill to acknowledge the light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah,
And I don't know, it's just that's just how I saw it. But
I
I
really
mean,
relate to that. I really do because like I think you remember um this kind of actually is funny is that I um remember Sultans, my show that I was going
yes,
to
I do
make.
remember Sultans.
That says a lot right there that you remember it because that was a show that like when Sudbury and Tales ended, which was Mr. MPS 2002 show from way back
Right.
when.
Yeah, you were the co-writer.
I
You
was
you
I was one of the many co-writers. I think I was the official co-writer, but
yeah,
like I
like
know
you had the
Turtles,
title.
yeah, yeah, like Turtles and Thomas helped a lot. Milk Tanker Media was like one of like the most helpful people like
But
I can imagine.
you were able to put the title of official co-writer for Sudrian Tales on your resume. You
What
had
a
that privilege.
I should put it on my like on my I can't think. I
Yeah,
can't
no,
talk.
I
My
helped write a semi-successful uh series about talking trains. Yeah.
that you can't watch anymore, of course.
But do
But
you know how to work Excel? Stuff like that.
I do I am afraid I do not, but I know how to use Final Cut and Adobe Audition and a bunch of other software. But one thing that I experienced when I was working on Sultans, which was supposed to be like the continuation of that show once it
Right.
ended spiritually, like a spiritual like sequel. Um, I just got so caught up in planning and the conceptualization of it all. Like when I was, for example, when I was writing Sultans, when I was about halfway through the first season, they announced that they were no longer going to be making Take and Play, which was, of course, my brand. It still is my brand, but you probably wouldn't be able to know that by checking my channel because I haven't really posted anything relating to that since the last Thomas and the Show episode.
Oh my goodness.
Um, but it's but I after that news, I was like, okay, now I need to make this season have another theme, a thematic, you know, tie throughout it, all of it. That being the op like that Thomas, like that Take and Play is no longer an existent brand, and so there was going to be like hints to that within the actual storyline. And there were so many other things that were happening, the decline of the show and all of this, that just made me go back and just consistently changing these stories that I already had done. They were already fine, but the ideas became so plentiful and numerous that eventually it grew so large that it was no longer even anything I could really aspire to. It was something that like I lost all motivation for, and so I abandoned the concept. And I still have abandoned the concept because I just don't feel like I could have done it with to take and play. If I had Wood Railway, it might be a different story. But point being is I really relate to that. I really, really relate to that. And I'm seeing some other people in the chat saying the same, including Lemmy,
Lemmy.
who's said, passion is that creative spark, that excitement. Motivation is the ability to stick with it till the end. And then reading 3640 Studios says, I have no passion. I just wake up and do stuff. I don't think that's true. If it
Everyone
is,
has passion for something.
yeah, honestly, if you have passion for waking up, that's something, and you should give yourself credit for that. And you don't always need to have a goal in mind. Sometimes, sometimes you're able to find what you're supposed to be doing just by kind of being yourself and finding your center of balance, I'd say.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we as humans had the technology and the ability to just transmit what we were thinking, to other people, I mean, you could definitely just like tell someone, you're like, oh yeah, I have this really cool idea, for a story. But then, it's when you're I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. I'm just like getting caught up on but if we had the ability to just transmit what we were thinking and not have to do any actual work, I feel like I would have been sticking around a lot longer. But
that brings to mind a horrible film I saw earlier this year. Have you seen the film Chaos Walking?
I have not.
Okay, because like that's like a story about like all of these individuals on this planet not being able to like shield their thoughts, and so like their thoughts like are like they come out of their heads and they're like spoken, like they're audible.
So they're like speech bubbles, but like you can hear them.
Yeah, it's
so
like
when you're
that.
Talking to yourself like in your head, other people can hear you.
Yeah, it was a movie with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley, and it was horrible. It was a horrible movie, even though I think they're both talented actors.
No, so do I.
It's
sucks
just
to hear that.
the project got delayed for like 2 years though, because it was pretty much deemed unreleasable back in 2019, and so they need to do a bunch of reshoots. It was one of those cases. Now, like, since we were talking about filmmakers in the community, like if Cardi or Vinny, worked on that project, I think there'd be a very different story.
Yeah, who knows? Again, there's some very talented people in this community, filmmaking wise, storytelling wise.
Yeah,
some people just have like finesse, even stuff like
don't make no sense. Sorry.
Even stuff like set dressing, some people can just dress a set beautifully, and if there weren't fucking oh no, I cursed. No.
Don't worry. Sorry. Don't say sorry.
I'm getting too comfortable. All right.
No,
I'm so sorry.
That's good because why are you apologizing? Because like that was like
apologies to my young viewers.
What young viewers?
My young fans.
I used your like the name of your channel as like the guest name because I wanted to make sure, and like you have no videos on it, so I mean it's like
Yeah.
there's that. But one thing I would say is that that rule, like where it was like no swearing on Leighton Live, it was like that was like when I was like living in like a fantasy world, and then I realized, oh yeah, it's 2020, and by the and point being is that by the beginning of this year, like Roberto was like swearing up a storm on here, so no reason to feel
I mean,
bad about it.
I'm not gonna, like take off my filters, but at the same time,
We
I
wanna,
do also apologize. But if I slip,
if you
uh,
slip, you slip, and there's
don't be
nothing wrong with
surprised.
that.
Yeah, if I slip, I slip. What was I saying though? Oh,
Like
but no, like some people could just dress a set beautifully. And if it wasn't for these big pieces of wood in the way, you'd think that it came right out of, a photograph of
oh
like a
yeah,
real place. Some people just have that finesse. And
Roman.
I was
That was
I was about to say, like I was thinking of a tweet that I sent for his what was it 7-year anniversary this year earlier in January, and I think I used the word finesse to describe his abilities to just dress sets. And but yeah, it's
that's
just so many talented people in this community, and I don't know, it's good to see everyone. Some people have different strengths. Like I said, I mentioned set dressing, filmmaking, storytelling. All those things play into, I mean, unless you're doing remake, which you don't have much leeway in terms of storytelling, but that's a different story.
um
But
yeah.
what am I saying?
I would say that actually that brings up another question is that lots of people, you've made a point that lots of people who are in the community are very much, they go into film or they are very passionate about, at the very least, filmmaking, video making. Um, and that's what gets them into the community. Was that what got you into the community? And if not, then what was it? Because that's, I think that it'd be so interesting to hear your perspective on that.
If we're talking about how I got into the community and why, it's because for years and years, I'd been watching people, everyone says Keek Ray. So yeah, I was watching James's 5 videos back in the day and I got really inspired. So, um, but I would be in my, grandfather's basement. That's where, I had all my train stuff. I would build layouts down there. And, I would imagine, doing these videos like, James's 5 and Smudger's Sir Handle and Keek Ray. But and then finally I find out, I remember the day, like almost not perfectly, but it was Thanksgiving 2014. And my sister's like, yeah, I just posted a video on my channel. I have like 5 subscribers. And I'm like, wait, how did you get a YouTube channel? Because I had this like notion, like this preconceived notion that you needed like like some cert. This is gonna sound so ridiculous, but just bear with me. This is what
Okay.
my like 12-year-old brain thought. I thought
Okay.
that there was like a certain wire that YouTube made that you needed to get in order to have a YouTube channel so that you can hook it up to like a camera or something. But no, she's like, when did YouTube become a part of Google?
That was like around 2000. I think that was 2013, I believe, or
I
so,
was
something
thinking the
like that.
same time, yeah, but
Because that was when the backgrounds on all the YouTube channels changed drastically, and it was like we're
right.
going to. That was like the first big change.
And so now, after then, all you need is a Google account and you already have a YouTube channel essentially. So when I found that out, I was like, oh my goodness. So, I made my first video that night. There's my Big City Engine review on my dresser, this tiny little set that I made. But, you know, that's what got me into it. And it was just the reason why is just because I had been wanting to be a part of the community for so long. And once I found out that, you know, it was a lot easier than I was anticipating, it was like, okay, so straight up now I'm just, you know, I'm in now. You know, I'm making videos like I have been wanting to do for years. So that's kind of just how that started.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, it was just the fact that, again, I'd been watching these channels for, you know, going on 5 years at that point. And, you know, finally I got my chance, but I didn't realize until I started making videos that it was a big commitment. You know, I mean, filming and then stuff like editing. Editing was my least favorite thing out of the whole thing. It was my least favorite part of everything.
That's
I dreaded editing.
That's so odd because like I'm such like a freak as it pertains to like my interests. Like I love editing. Like honestly, like I've gone out
Monster.
and just taken videos like from like some of my favorite users or like just ridiculous crap like the Savage Crime Show or crap like that, and I just re-edit it and I just do it because I think it's fun and I get like a kick out of it. So like that's like my favorite part of the process. So we probably should have talked about this a little earlier because then maybe we would have come to some agreements. But that's fascinating.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I know a lot of people like editing, and it just was like the part of the process that I dreaded the most. I also hated having to like build a set for one shot and then take it down and build another one. And that's why I was, you know, in the countless times that I conceptualized a series, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write one season at a time and then just film all the shots on one set like they did in the, you know, in the TV series and stuff like that. But obviously that never happened.
Yeah. I think we're going to be talking a lot about failed series or canceled series in this episode. I have a feeling that's going to be a general theme that's going to be going overlapping, I guess. So
Maybe the motif of this episode.
yeah,
One of the motifs.
yeah, we have motif. That's a good word. That's what I was thinking of.
It's a
Thank
great
you.
word.
I love that.
It is
Me
one of
being the
my favorite
music
words.
major, I'm mad that I didn't remember that first. I would have probably used like some dumb word like solfege to describe it or something something like that. But yeah. So I guess a question I didn't ask you last time, since this is your second time technically being on the program,
Yeah.
which you know that you should consider yourself very lucky because like there's not a lot of people who I've invited on twice. But it's not that they were like other people had bad behavior so they got banned or anything. It's nothing like that. But what was it like? Because I think there's a moment when this happens to a lot of people when like someone you looked up to as a aspiring Thomas creator, when they take note of you. And like when did that happen for you and who was that? Do you remember any
It was
instances?
like, it felt like I met one of my childhood idols, honestly. I remember it, you know, being on Twitter. I started off on Twitter about a month before I joined YouTube. And, you know, I was meeting people like Roman and Ted, and then like James too. But then, you know, when I would like Keek Ray's tweets, and then sometimes I would reply to his tweets, and then he would, you know, sometimes like them back. It was just a weird feeling. And then it just became a lot more I guess normal. It didn't surprise me as much. It was like, oh shoot, okay, so they're like my tweets and stuff. But when the first time it happened, it felt like I met a celebrity. And then
Yeah.
for a period, he followed me, and then he kind of narrowed down how many people he followed, and I wasn't offended. I feel like I've been almost a nobody, at least in terms of my reputation when combined with my net video output. Like, I don't think the value of what I put out is on the level where that a lot of people are at, and that's not me being self-deprecating. That's just me being honest, with myself.
I would
I
really
was
disagree.
never.
I would really disagree, but you can continue.
I mean, yeah, some of my remakes I was proud of, but um, I don't know. It's just I don't feel like a nobody. It's just like you know I'm just there. I have a close knit group of friends still in the community, and I still keep in contact with a good handful of people, but I never I never felt like someone that a lot of people looked up to. And I know for sure that anytime I knew that there were people that have told me, and they're like, I was really inspired by stuff that you did early on, and you inspired how I built my sets. And that was, I think, that feeling. And I'm going to sound so pretentious by saying this, but I'm going to sound so sappy and corny by saying this, but
Don't worry, you're
like
talking to me. You're talking to the
hearing
late night host.
but hearing that what I did inspired other people, that was more fulfilling, I think, than meeting, my idols.
Mhm.
Learning and like finding out that you were someone else's idol to an extent, I think is better than meeting your own, because you meet your own, and then, sure, you could start working with them. Like, look at Kanye West. Look at Kanye's entire, if he hadn't stopped Jay-Z at one of his live shows, would he have been, the person that he is now? No, probably not. But, meeting your idols is one thing, but again, hearing that you've inspired others, I think I felt more fulfilled hearing that.
I don't think that's a pretentious thing to say. Like to say like, oh, I'm the greatest, person that's ever lived, that would be pretentious. That's um just watch me fly by. But just to say that, to hear that, I think that's just a natural human reaction. you
Yeah,
know and if you were like, oh, I'm so mad that you were inspired by me, that would be the more pretentious thing, because you'd almost like, what would be like the term for that, like you'd almost be gatekeeping your material.
that's one of my, oh my goodness. If there's one, like, there are so many phenomena that social media has brought upon society, and one of them that I just abhor is gatekeeping. Like, this girl, she was like, I've been listening to Fleetwood Mac since I was a kid, but you found out about them through TikTok. Okay, I highly doubt that, because Fleetwood Mac is one of the best known bands in the world.
Yeah.
Their song, like, and who cares? Who cares about when people are finding out about artists? I've only been listening to Kanye for a year, but I still consider him to be like one of my favorite artists ever at this point, because I've just listened to so much of his music at this point. He his music takes up a large volume of what I listen to normally. And you know being I just hate gatekeeping. Like,
Yeah.
what do you gain from that? Oh, like, you you think I'm impressed that you grew up listening to Fleetwood Mac? Like, what, do you want a medal? I don't get it. There's like no reason. There's no reason to gatekeep at all.
I I I really agree with that. And do you listen to a lot of like Peter Green or Bob Welch era like Fleetwood Mac? Because like that's a whole nother level of gatekeeping right there, where they're
Not
like, you're
really.
not even listening to the real Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac was a blues band. There's those people. And I'm like, I love, like some of those old, albums, you know,
Yeah.
so and but I still think Rumors is one of the greatest albums of the 70s of all time, to be honest. I love Tusk. Spirit my Tango in the Night. I almost said Spirits in the Night. That's Bruce Springsteen. But Tango in the Night's really underrated, I feel. And I also like their, stuff like Bare Trees, and so on. So I feel it's very pretentious. That's a pretentious thing to do.
Yeah, to
Is
gatekeep.
Yeah,
Let people
because
enjoy what they want to enjoy.
yeah, they're so, especially now in 2020, there is so little to really enjoy, to be honest. Um, because, like, I mean, maybe that's a bit of a dire statement. There's plenty of stuff to enjoy, but just like given just the amount of weight that has been put on, all of us collectively during the past year, I think it's just a bit silly to be like, well, you're not the first person to ever listen to this group. I was a fan way back when. And I'm like, well, I guess
Like,
you need it.
okay, what is that like? What does that add to your fandom that takes away from mine? You know,
Yeah.
like
And
what does that add to your enjoyment that mine is deprived of?
well, it actually does add to their enjoyment because it adds a air of superiority, um, which I guess there's that too, which is great. But I would also just state that it's like saying that no concept is new. Like there is no such thing as an
Right.
original thought. Saying that
Yeah.
you're an original fan kind of falls into that same category for me. Um, um, and I guess this is a question that I promised that we would go back to some of the topics that we talked about the first time around. First time you were on, we did something a bit different that we typically don't do here on Late and Live, and that was we had an actual segment. Yeah, typically it's just like interviews
Oh
and then
yeah, we
another
rank
interview.
train songs.
We ranked
Songs
train
about
songs.
trains. Not by
And
train, but
And so, a question that once again I didn't ask you about this. I didn't want you to prepare whatsoever for this. I just want to have your honest response.
yeah, this
Ha-
is
yeah,
completely candid.
yeah, completely. Candid camera, whatever you may call it. But are there any songs about trains that you've listened to since then, and you are like, why didn't I include that on the list? Like I just forgot about that song.
I mean, if you count Across the Border by ELO,
I think you mentioned that. I believe
if
it.
I did, then I apologize. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but I drove back up to school yesterday and I put that album on while driving up. It's one of the albums that I revisit quite frequently.
Oh
And
yeah, of course. There's just so much great music on it, being a double and all that.
yeah, but yeah, that's the only one that I can really think of. But if I included it, then I apologize. But
No need to apologize. No need to apologize at all. The more people who talk about ELO, I think I think the world will be a better place. Another song, actually, I have a radio show. I'm not going to reveal where it's at or what it's on, but tonight, coincidentally, I played a track off that album. I decided to play Jungle, which was like the seventh track
dude,
off of
Jungle is a classic. Jungle is the seventh song off that album.
that. Would you say like as like the seventh song, like chronologically, or like ranked like the best song on the album?
I mean, it is the seventh song chronologically.
Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, it might just be like the seventh best song on the album now that I think about it, which sounds like a slight, but you need to keep in mind ELO was very consistent.
Yeah, that is very consistent album. I mean, there are a few spots on it where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
And I've
I oh
my
sorry.
opinion on one song on that album is like apparently a bit unpopular, especially, among people online, but
Okay.
we're talking about the third, side.
Yeah. What's your
I never cared for Summer and Lightning. That's just me.
I think it's the weakest song on the third side.
It
I th-
is, I
I thought
think
you were gonna say something like Mr. Blue Sky is the worst song on the third side or
that
something
was
like
my
that.
that was my favorite song, period, for like a year.
It's a
So
good one. It's a good one to have, you know.
I would never talk down about that song. And then
Um
like Believe Me Now is just vocoder.
yeah. I personally think though that the album this is just how I would have like changed like the track listing is that I feel that side 4 it's a good side. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like after the concerto for a rainy day, it just is a little bit anticlimactic. So I actually took my CD copy of it, put it onto iTunes, and I remixed it. So like side 3 is now side 4, and side 4 is now side 3. If you get what I'm saying, and I think it actually
So
flows better.
you think it flows better?
It flows better. So
I
take
have to
that,
do that.
Jeff Lynne. Um, I guess
Has
the
Jeff Lynne been knighted yet?
I don't.
We need to get on that.
I'm I
People like England, Queen Elizabeth, gotta get on that.
he is a member of well he has the most excellent order. He's a member of the most excellent order of the British Empire, but he has not been knighted. So there is that. I guess to go back to our train son question rather, the most immediate son that I was just disgusted for overlooking just because to be honest, I just forgot it had anything to do with trains was Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks. I felt so ashamed that I actually bent and added it to the Spotify playlist because that probably would have been my number one if I didn't forget about it entirely. Um, just because it's just like a perfect pop song. I remember like saying that like one of my favorite bands was like the Kinks way back in the day, and Train King James was always like really like confused because he was like, "You like a band called the Kinks?" And I was like, "No, they were like brilliant." I highly recommend everyone listen to the Kinks. Other songs that I really thought I should have added was another one was "Waiting for a Train" by Flash in the Pan. I think that one kind of gets lost a bit. Flash in the Pan were not that big over in the United States.
So you could say maybe they were a flash in the pan.
Maybe you could say that, but in Australia, they were actually relatively successful over a lot longer period of time. Um,
I love the stories of those bands. It's like we didn't do well in the UK, the US, but when our music hit Pakistan, everything changed, you know.
it's like Anvil. Have you seen like that
I've
the
not heard of
documentary
Anvil.
about Anvil? It's
I've
actually
not.
like real life Spinal Tap. Um, and just like Spinal Tap, they're crazy big in Japan. Like, who would have thought? Um, well, everyone's big in Japan, to be fair, from Alphaville to Cheap Trick to everyone, literally everyone.
No,
The Carpenters, too. Do they have any train songs?
I don't
Um,
know.
I don't know. If they do, they're probably sung by Richard, and I don't really count those. No offense, he's a good composer, not a great singer. Um, but yeah, if you're wondering why the segment's going on a bit long, it's just because there have just been some technical difficulties relating to our other guest, which is completely fine because we're just having a really good
Guys,
conversation.
Roman is okay. He's just taped up in the basement. We're gonna let him out in just
It's
a second.
like in Pulp Fiction, where like Bruce Willis is down like in we have him tied up like that.
That's
Counting
who.
flowers on the but
It's a great song.
yeah, it's love that. I actually have some Statler Brothers connections, but I'm not going to get into that.
Connection.
Connections,
You
you
got the
know,
scoop.
got the scoop. Yes, I got the scoop. One more question that I would ask, or that I am going to ask you before I do something very, very unpredictable. Um, because I think that's what when the show's best. I just want to thank you first off, just for being just a wonderful person to interview. It's been a
Oh
long
no,
time since we
it
talked
has
last,
been.
and we had a really good conversation. I honestly sometimes like with this show, I gotta be honest. Sometimes I get a little bit too crazy, and I'm like so focused on you know getting to like cover all of like the history of the individual user or the whatnot that I kind of sometimes have overlooked the person.
Right.
And luckily I'd say most if not all of my guests have we've become very close friends in the time since then, but I still feel a bit guilty for not being able to portray who they truly are on the show. And I'm just so happy to say that this was a really good conversation, and
No,
that the best part about it is that I really got to know you a lot better. And so I hope that translates, and everybody else in the community gets to realize what a deep and insightful person you are.
I mean it wasn't always that way for those who have known me since day one. I can personally say, in all the introspection I've done over the past couple of years, I would definitely say I've matured a whole lot. There were a lot of antics that we would get into back in the day, and I'm not going to go into detail, but I mean, we had fun, but um, I'm doing well now. I'm happy with where I'm at right now, and I wouldn't trade this for anything.
Yeah. I really, 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 I'm just so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. So the one question I have is if you would have, and I think it might even be the same question I asked at the end of the last interview, but I want to see if your thoughts have changed in any way over this past year. What is one bit of advice, or perhaps the key bit of advice that you'd give to a young aspiring uh, Thomas creator in the fandom, whether that be a wooden railway, modeler, or a model preserver, or anyone of that ilk?
The one piece of advice, and again, pretty cliche, but I think it's very important. Just be yourself and do what you want to do. Don't do something because other people are doing it. And if you're doing something just because other people are doing it and you're not enjoying it, then that's even worse for yourself. So branch out, you know, find a niche, like find a niche in the community, do something that you want to do. And again, just don't just follow the trends, be a trailblazer. If you have an idea that hasn't been applied, give it your all, and who knows, it could catch on. You know, that's that's one that comes to, that's a piece of advice that comes to my mind, and I feel like that applies to a lot of different things. You can ask a lot of people in a lot of different fields and backgrounds. That's something that applies to a
Thank you
whole
so. Oh, sorry.
slew of people and communities. But
Thank you
that's
so much for saying that, and for being just a wonderful guest. Um, Now, typically, this would be the part of the show where I kick Mike out for about a half hour before we go back and reconvene for a roundtable discussion. But this is not every episode. Roman's been caught up with some other things, which is understandable, this being his birthday
It
and all.
is his birthday.
I want to wish both Roman and Eric Pierre
Yes.
some very happy birthday wishes. I would blow on something right now if I had anything. Of course, I guess I can just blow out into the wind and pretend like I have like a what are those like things called? Like they're not kazoos. They're like what are those party favors that make?
Huh. I've never thought about what they're called. I've definitely had a word for them before, but
Let's just call them
noisemakers. I think they're
no.
just literally called noisemakers.
I've heard that before, but I think that's like a genre of a party of appliances. I don't think that's the actual name.
It's an
I could be
umbrella
wrong.
term.
It's an umbrella term. You're right. Well, anyway, since this is our 1 year anniversary show, it's not the only anniversary show. I'm going to take a little bit of inspiration from Lemmy. I'm going to do something that was pretty unheard of, I think, on community radio. And I don't think I've ever done this before, but I'm just going to open the forum and we're just going to see what happens because it's our 1 anniversary show. We can maybe talk a little bit about all the happenings in the community, whatever they may be or may not be. And at such a point, and then we'll just be able to do that until such a point where we don't do that anymore. Okay. So, and we'll just do that for like a half hour. How does that sound? We're just wild and crazy.
So we're opening it up to the chat then?
Opening it up to the chat. Thank you, Lemmy, for the wonderful idea. So, and these will be filtered by me, so no need to worry about anything. So 3, 2, 1, penguins. There we go. It's out there in the chat. And if you are watching, I'm only going to add
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to stop you. Did you just make a Big Idea reference?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was actually like a Shea Frella's reference by way of Big Idea. Because he does that like in all of his like movie reviews and stuff. So yeah. Reading 3640 Studio says, wow, what an epic day it is to be for me. Let's see if we got any questions because we can start our Q&A section maybe a little early. I think I was seeing a lot of comments earlier, so I'll see if there's any thoughts in particular. So here's another one. Squaring up a storm. I'm just imagining a giant tornado, but instead of wind, it's just audio clips of Roberto cursing. That's illustrative. Josh Productions 07 says, hi, I put that up by accident. I want to say hi back. There we go. So, Mike, do you know anything that's going on in the community right now? Have you just, I know you've been on Twitter a bit more today because of just me posting about it.
Right. I mean, for me, typically Twitter, me getting on Twitter is mostly now because I'm just, bored and I have nothing else to do. And, my involvement in the community is obviously nothing like it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
So I am, there are a lot of things that I'm not caught up on. But I couldn't really tell you much that goes on in the community right now. I know, I'm trying to think if there's anything, if there's any significant stuff that has come out. I know I saw like a really, really well rendered Boko, like in CGI that someone made. And, that looked fantastic. So,
this is just a question I'm going to throw out at you right now, just
yeah,
because I think most likely you've heard of it, but it's happened in the year since then, and I think it's a good benchmarker to see how active you've been. Do you remember when Thomas turned into an elephant?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry for reminding you of that. Um, have you seen Sodar Fallout?
I have not.
I actually have not either. I've been bad at these past 2 months because I've just
I
been busy in college.
can I just tell you how like bad like how behind I am on the show?
Oh, how
The
behind are
last
you?
like new piece of Thomas media I've watched was Journey Beyond Sodor, and I watched only half of that movie.
I think I don't even think I'm really like well, I watched Journey Beyond Sodor. Yeah, I did, but I haven't watched Big World Big Adventures, the film.
Oh yeah,
Um
neither
I've
have I.
watched some of the episodes because I've gotten them recommended. Um
I mean,
but yeah.
the way I think of it, and I feel like not pretentious, but it's just gonna sound like I don't know.
Using that term a lot tonight. That's always a
I don't
good
know,
sign.
like not preachy or anything, but I've just kind of mentally like checked out from the show. Like I don't pay attention to what happens. I'm not invested in the direction that it goes anymore. I the classic series happened. It will, as far as we know from this point on, it was the apex of the show, and it will never be matched by anything else that Mattel or any company that has control over it in the future does. I don't think anything will come close to the quality of stories, the quality of, you know, I mean, CGI, you can't really compare CGI models because they're two uh, vastly different media, but it's just, I don't know. I just have mentally checked out of the series though. That's that's really just my angle.
I really like once again. It's just like I've not been really passionate about Thomas either,
Like
to be
neither
honest.
again, yeah.
Like it like what are like are there any shows that you're saying that you're like that you've been interested in like that have kind of taken the place of Thomas? Um
Um, I wouldn't really say taking the place of, like, I will always have a place in my heart
well,
for Thomas.
yeah,
That will
probably
never
the
change.
wrong way of phrasing it.
But I don't know. I don't really connect to shows that much, nor movies as much as I do with like music. But I mean, some shows that I've been watching, I watch Trailer Park Boys quite often.
Yeah.
I got into it over quarantine. It was it's enjoyable. I think it's pretty funny. I also got into Arrested Development
Oh yeah.
over the
That's
past
that's a
few months. That's a fun show.
It is. It is. I think it gets a bit of a bad rap because the reboot was not
Well,
so
yeah,
hot. But yeah, there's a reason why they rebooted it. So
yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
And also, I enjoy SNL a lot too. And with Elon Musk being on tonight,
Yeah, that's right. That's that's very, 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 you know, like wow.
it's
It's
just
just
weird.
crazy
Like
to
he's the richest man in the world, and he's going on SNL tonight.
yeah, with like Miley Cyrus as like the musical guest. It's just like it's very like interesting.
Yeah.
I do remember though. This is a funny thing that I remember. I just remembered right now. Is that do you remember who the musical guest when who the musical guest was when Donald Trump was the host of Saturday Night Live the last time?
I do not.
It was Sia.
Sia.
Sia, yeah. So that episode has now been cursed all the way around.
I
um,
know one thing that I know about like musical guests with SNL. I think the last time Kanye was on as the musical guest, the host was Ben Affleck because you can see
oh,
um
yeah, that's the when he
he,
was
he
the
yeah, he
Yeezus
was
tour.
Yeah, it was after Yeezus, and he performed Black Skinhead, and I think it's like probably one of the best live versions he's done of that song, just because of how abrasive his energy is. Like
Yeah,
he
it's
brought a
better
lot of
than the
energy to it.
studio. It's better than the studio version, I'd say, and that's saying a lot because, of course, it has that crisp Daft Punk
I mean,
production.
because you hear like the stuff a lot clearer
Oh
in
yeah,
the actual studio version. You don't hear it as much, but I love like when Ben Affleck is introducing him. He's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Kanye West." Like he's almost in tears.
no, it's not even that. It's like
Either
he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the man you all came to see, Kanye West." He says,
yeah,
"The man you all came to see," because he's like
Manuel came
sad
to
and
see.
defeated. I remember that. That was a good live performance. That was a good live performance. Uh, Speaking of which,
No,
let's.
wait, hold on. All right, real quick. And then when Daniel Craig was the guest, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the
The
weekend."
weekend.
He's like, there. I don't know what it is. It's just funny.
Sounds like he sounds like a proud father in that clip. He's like,
Ben
Abel, you've
Affleck is
made it.
crying, and Daniel Craig is just proud.
Yeah. Anyway, we have another guest to join us right now. It is Lester. Please welcome Lester to the stream. How are you doing? Welcome to the 1 year anniversary episode of Late and Live with Taj Mahal.
It's iCarly's 50th web show. Spectacular.
Oh, I remember that.
Same
That's so
energy.
nostalgic. My goodness.
Ever since they put iCarly on Netflix, I think the world has improved since then.
Yeah, it's
But they also
interesting.
took The Office off. I love The Office as well. I actually drove through Scranton yesterday.
Oh, you did? Oh my
I
goodness.
did.
You know, somewhere that I've been, or rather, I don't know if it's a place, but like on a vehicle, like a vehicle that I've been on, is the Natchez, the steamboat Natchez down in New Orleans. That's been
Hello?
getting. Oh, hello. Yeah, we
Oh,
can hear you.
Hi.
hello.
Oh, okay. Hi.
How's it going?
It's good to have you. So, I guess we're, I'm sorry, my thought process got a little bit kind of cut in there. If I had my camera on, I guess I could have my camera on, but I don't want to take away from these stunning visuals behind me. I'm just doing like karate chops in the air right now.
Is it a webcam party right now?
What?
Is it a webcam party right now?
Webcam party. Okay, I'll turn it on. There we go. I guess it doesn't take up space. I don't know how StreamYard works, so there's that too. Ooh. And Wooden Fan 1 showed up in the comments, so I might repost the link again, just so people might be able to know to get in, because then we can have a whole little stream party going on here to celebrate this marvelous occasion. But yeah. Have either of you been to New Orleans ever?
I have not.
What about you, Lester?
I've never went there. I've never went there.
Yeah.
Though
The re-
I wish I could go to somewhere farther away, because so far I haven't really been going anywhere recently because, pandemic.
COVID. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how like these episodes are kind of, well, hopefully they're bookmarking COVID a bit, because like when we started, we were like 3 months into the whole pandemic.
Yeah,
And
not
hopefully
even.
and now hopefully they're projecting that by like this September things are going to, like, it's no longer going to be considered like a pandemic. That's what I heard. Like
Yeah.
it's still going to be like a a health situation, but it's just not
Right.
going to be on the pandemic scale. So, I guess in a way that's kind of interesting way of looking at it. The reason why I mentioned that was because I one of my friends, actually, Lego Spaceman, like edited a video of him supposedly playing the the Calliope on the
I
steamboat
saw that.
Natchez, and and once again, apparently it was edited, it was doctored. That's what he said. So I was just like, I'm wondering if he even went there, or if he just kind of took footage from someone else, because I guess that's kind of my equivalency to like the Fleetwood Mac pretentiousness, where it's like, I actually was on the steamboat. But yeah. Anyway, to continue on with the Stream Yard Party, here's another friend of the program, another former guest, and someone who you're all going to be accustomed to, perhaps a little bit more on Thomas the Tank Engine Community Radio. Please welcome Andrew, Wooden Fan 1. How are you doing?
It's funny where you guys were just talking about the pandemic. I just yesterday I got the second vaccine. I gotta be honest, I'm not doing the best. I'm feeling a little ill, but honestly, it's good to be here. Thank you for that little foreshadowing. I wonder, I will be very accustomed to this community radio soon.
Yep. And we're going to be talking about why that is in just a little while. I'm going to see if Roman's going to join them, because I did a very special round of the Thomas Trivia Challenge this week. That's a little bit different than what we've done in the past, but I decided that since all three of us, that being Roman, Mike, and I, how the history we have, I decided to do something a little bit off the beaten path and perhaps a little experimental. But if Roman doesn't join at such a point, which is once again understandable, I can adapt the rules and we can do a little bit of a crazy little thing. Ooh.
You know me, I love some Thomas trivia, as we all know. Me best Percy number 6.
You bested, yeah. We have this is fascinating. This is really, really, really great. I'm just so happy that I guess I don't get to ask this a lot, but how do all of you enjoy the program late in life? You can say anything you want. It's not like I'm owned by NBC or anything, so if you say any unfavorable comments regarding the studio, you're not going to get thrown out into the street or anything, be bodyguards or anything. Well, okay, I won't ask that question again. Okay.
I'm sorry, I was.
That's all right. That's all right. My head's just been going at a crazy speed. Junction Malfunction says, I have cookies and a live stream. Yay, me. You have cookies? Come on. Why do they get cookies? Why do they get cookies? I'm so...
I almost bought some cookies today. Went grocery shopping.
Which type?
Local supermarket. They just, they make their own cookies. So.
Oh, are those were they chocolate chip or frosted or
M&M
cookies? Ooh, those bring me back.
Very good.
That reminds me. I'm just gonna make popcorn because that just reminds me I need something to eat.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna seem like a big everybody has this image of Minnesotans, at least suburban Minnesotans, especially those that live in the Twin Cities, for example. They have this image that they are they only eat at Chipotle and go to Starbucks and drink LaCroix at home, but I just had some Chipotle and that kind of hit the spot. I know there's some problems with where Chipotle doesn't stock certain foods because of problems or whatever, but I haven't grown a third eye yet, so
Chipotle is very solid.
It is solid.
I don't like making that choice.
What rank would you give it?
Out of, I'd say it's it's definitely A tier.
It's A tier. I would put it I did I ever tell you my ranking process when there was like when the tier list craze happened like about 3 years ago or so?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay, so these were the tiers. So like S was like supreme, like that was at the top, and so there was S. Then there was A, B, C, D, F, and then at the bottom I put FU, which was like the worst possible thing because I felt insulted by its existence. So using that tier list, I'd put Chipotle at A. It's not quite S, but it's A. It's A.
Yeah, no, same with me. I mean, if we're talking just off the dome fast food rankings, just throw out some fast food brands and I'll toss them into tiers.
Oh, wait a minute. I just saw this. A Junction Malfunction says, buy cookies. No, you make them from scratch, true and proper. My southern grandmother taught me well. You made your own cookies?
Homemade cookies.
They are great.
They're just different.
They hit different.
Definitely.
Would you Lester, Andrew, do you have any wooden I almost said wooden cookie. Any
Wooden
cookie
pan
memories?
Cookies. I love some wooden pan cookies. Cookies aren't really my first choice for a snack, but I gotta say I am fond of a good Oreo if that counts.
Ooh, that does count. That does count.
Double stuffed Oreos are quite delicious, I must say.
I've been a type of cookie. Oh, sorry.
I like cookies, but like he said, I wouldn't choose cookies first if I had a choice for a
What
snack.
would be your first choice?
I guess it would be. It's hard because I guess I'd choose some sort of chip or a candy. Because I like cookies, but it doesn't give me energy.
Like I live close to a Dollar General. It's like 15 minutes or something like that. So sometimes I just bike over there, and I've been getting this very weird craving because like they sell like these large like boxes of like cookies for like $1, and like they last you like the whole night. It's not like one of those like cheap things where you get like 3 cookies and they're gone like in like 10 minutes or something like that. And because of that, I've been really liking like, have you ever had like lemon cookies? Like those hit good. Those hit different too.
Like lemon squares.
I'm not lemon squares, but like I forget, like they're they're kind of like Oreos, but like they have like a lemon filling. I don't really know how to describe them.
I think I know what you're talking about. Actually, I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, I have. I've had them before. They're not bad.
Yeah, and it's weird because like I used to not be that big into those, but like as of late, I've just been eating those like crazy because I mean they're cheap and they're like just delicious. So once again, this is where we've come from. We had this really deep philosophical pondering between Mike and I, where we were talking about like the effects of being in the Thomas community, and now we're talking about cookies. I love it. I just love it.
I mean, I gotta say real quick before we move on, I just want to say probably if you were to ask me my preferred choice of snack right now, I've been really into yogurt recently. I've gotten back into yogurt. I loved yogurt as a kid, and then I just didn't have it for years.
What are your thoughts on like Greek yogurt though?
Greek yogurt is solid.
Okay.
It's not my preferred, but it's a bit more expensive. But I mean, the supermarket, I'll disclose. Like, yeah, I'm in Buffalo right now, so Wegmans is the main supermarket around here, and yeah, like Wegmans brand everything is just it's cheaper because it's the supermarket, it's their brand, and like fruit on the bottom yogurt, So good. Key lime pie flavored yogurt. Another favorite. I just love yogurt.
So you'd recommend yogurt. Where would yogurt appear on your tier list?
For snacks,
Yeah.
definitely A tier.
Okay.
Depends on the flavor.
Yeah, and
The
sometimes you get
variety.
like the chunky yogurts. I'm not the biggest fan of
I'm not a
chunky
huge
yogurts.
fan of curdy, yogurts like that.
Yeah, I like them like smooth, where you just like it's like you're like almost like you're drinking it. It's like I love that.
Danimals?
Oh,
Oh,
Danimals are good. Mm-hmm.
that brings me back. I
Love that.
remember, yeah.
Love
Who
the year.
remembers Go-Gurts?
Oh, of course.
Yogurt.
Yogurts was just
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
convenience.
It's a completely different thing. But like, okay, actually, do any of you remember ring pops?
Ring.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Listen, instead of a wedding ring, I'm gonna put one of those.
Yeah, no, marry me with a ring pop.
That sounds like a emo like song title. Like she married me with a
Marry me
with a
with
ring
a
ring.
on the field by Ramen label. But another thing is that I grew up like in like I think we might have like some different collective memories, but like I grew up in the generation where like those like scented pencils ring
yeah.
like yeah
Ooh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
the like the shaped like hand bands. You remember those? Those were big too.
Yeah.
And Blue Pal plates. Those were like the three
Blue
coolest
Pals
things.
plates, cereal straws,
Oh yeah.
Yogos.
Yes.
Does anyone remember Yogos?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
My mom never let me get Yogos.
Oh, mine didn't either.
And Sunny D. I was never able to drink Sunny D as a kid.
Okay, Sunny D's like I don't understand that. Like Sunny D is like just like I don't know. Like there are times where I just I go to the movie theater, like not during the past year. The only film I've seen in the movie theaters during this past year, funnily enough, was Chaos Walking.
I'm gonna try and see Black Widow when that comes out.
Yeah, I was thinking
Why?
about seeing Khan versus Godzilla, but I'm not the biggest like fan of like those types of films. Like other people just love them, but like my favorite like Godzilla film is Shin Godzilla, which is like barely a Godzilla film. It's more of like a political thriller. So, I almost went to that though. For the most part, I've just been sticking to streaming and watching like whatever comes up on there, whether that be, Judas and the Black Messiah or
Oh, I need to see that one.
it's really good. It's really good.
Keith Stanfield is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Keith Stanfield. Sorry to bother you. He was great and Sorry to Bother You.
Oh,
And David Cross is the voice in his head, I think, or he's one of the voices in that movie.
And
David Cross, yeah. Speaking of Arrested Development,
speaking of Alvin and the Chipmunks, that it's a weird thing. Like I was introduced to David Cross through Alvin and the Chipmunks, and even though I hated those films, even as a kid, I still like I enjoyed him.
Oh yeah, David Cross. I was introduced to David Cross through GTA San Andreas because he voices one of the characters.
That's better. That's better. That's going to
He
lie.
voices Zero.
Does he?
He does, yeah.
Oh wow! I gotta go back. I haven't played GTA since 2019.
I don't think a lot of people have.
I played through it again during quarantine. I'm just waiting on 6 now. That's when I'm getting my PS5.
I remember
I'll get my PS5 once GTA 6 comes out.
I remember when like way back in the day, it was like none of us had like any money to buy video games, so we just played crap on Roblox. And like there's like
I don't know if I describe hashtag versus hashtag as crap.
but like the free GTA like on Roblox, like that was crap. like the bridges went on forever and ever and ever, and like sometimes the world didn't load, so you just drove right off the edge.
Never-ending loop of
Man,
just
steaming
Roblox
versus
bridge.
diesels.
That's one of the few things. It's weird because of all the stuff that's happened this past year, and also just my contemplation of the past 5. It's weird that that's one of the few things I still do look back on fondly. I
Roblox,
do
yeah,
I do enjoy that. I do
dude.
remember
I
that.
I don't. I'm not like shy to tell people. Oh yeah, no. I used to love Roblox.
Yeah, it's like it's dumb fun, but it's fun.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
sometimes that's all you need.
I mean, Roblox High School. Come on.
I remember that. That was I always liked like Armored Patrol.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started. Urban Patrol, where you could blow up the buildings. I
That was
remember
fun too.
we would we would find we would just find empty games, and for the entire half hour of the round, we would just blow up buildings. We would just, I think, we just like set up turrets and just blow up buildings, throw C4s. That's all we did.
Yeah, that was I'm sorry, I have like an abstract random brain, so I'm just going to jump to a completely different topic because you said C4. I need to take a class in my middle school called C4. Does anybody else relate to this? Or is this just unique to me?
What's like, can you give me a course description?
I forget what it was, but like it was like college 4. It was supposed to cover like the 4 different steps of college prep, and I don't remember exactly what they were. Like they didn't even teach us that. It was more
That
like
sounds familiar now, but
yeah.
I don't know.
And of
The
course,
4
everyone.
steps of college prep are, first of all, tell a school with an insanely large equity that you will be paying that they will be taking hundreds of thousands of dollars away from you. Then you go to college, make friends, get drunk, do drugs for 4 years. Doesn't relate to my experience, but
Yeah, not
yeah,
my. I
neither here nor there.
I
I
I've,
mean,
yeah, I've
yeah,
done
like,
everything except make friends.
you know,
Just kidding. No.
I'll have a good drink on the weekends. I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna like lie about that. But and
Yeah,
then graduate with a degree and then get a job where they could just teach you all the skills in much less time. Like I remember during the pandemic, people were, because classes were moved to online, it was easier for people to cheat. And then people are joking around. They're like, yeah, bridges built in 20 years are gonna, they're gonna collapse now because people just, cheated through college during the pandemic.
well,
No,
they could.
because those jobs are going to teach you those skills anyway.
That's fair. And to be honest, like learning that the internet is a resource, like they're like a really good resource, is like a good lesson to learn anyway. Like
Exactly.
I
Like
mean, like
you have online libraries, and you're telling me not to use the internet, even though these are some people who and some. I mean, I've had some fantastic professors with incredible experience. Like last semester, even one of my professors, he used to be strength and conditioning coach for the New York Giants football team. So, he's been, he's been around the block. So, it's good having professors that are experienced, but I don't know.
yeah, it's
Don't discourage, extracurricular research.
yeah,
Not that people do, but
yeah, and you should not I mean, more bridges would be built better if more people checked on the internet for resources. Like, I mean, for like an example, have you ever heard of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge
that's the one that was
disaster?
like waving. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Saw that
that's
video in 11th grade physics.
I remember
It was built in such a horrible place. The valley was essentially a wind tunnel, and the vibrations just made the bridge just shake and collapse.
I'm surprised nobody's done like a Thomas story like that was loosely inspired by that bridge, or incorporated like something inspired by that. Because like it might be a little hard to show the bridge like turning and like
Yeah,
bending, But
Like,
outside of that, I think that you could easily make a season 5 episode, like that. But anyway, back to C4. That was the infamous class where I got we had a questionnaire that we needed to fill out. And on that questionnaire, like there was I think the third question was like, what do you plan to do after college? Get a job. No, what do you plan to do after high school? Get a job, go to college, join the military, both. It was actually written like that. And so it was like, yeah, I want to do both of those 3 options. I think I mentioned that way back in the day, because that was just something that was funny. And so there we go. 2 other wonderful individuals have joined since we started our discussion, those being Epic Lad and 8 Junction Malfunction. We're just kind of hanging in here, hanging out, talking about ring pops. And
it's become a podcast now.
It's become a podcast, I've been wanting to do a music, like a pop. Oh, sorry. I just heard your volume's a little low. I've been wanting to do like a music podcast for like the longest while. I actually have been talking to some people. I was planning on starting to film it back in at the beginning of February, but then my life turned upside down. So now I'm planning on getting it started sometime like in May. So that should be fun. And I guess I can tell you about the basic premise of the show is where we look at like the Billboard charts and like the UK official singles charts. Yeah, and we pick like our favorite songs off of it, like for like the week. So It's like a top 10. And then we also talk about like our least favorite song, maybe like songs that should have been on the charts that, just weren't released as singles, didn't get a push. So fun stuff like that. So sorry, I thought I was hearing some talking, but oh, sorry. I think I am.
Oh dear. How is my mic quality? That's my question.
It's a little staticky. But it's coming in better now, volume wise. Sorry about that.
I am the Epic Lad 77777.
The Epic Lad 7. I'm so.
Otherwise known as Reading 364 Studios or whatever I called myself. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Okay, good to have you.
Oh, you'll regret having me one day.
Well, I have executive control too, so if I need to kick you,
5 4.
Listen, I'm very creative with my name. Okay, you do not judge the Epic Lad.
7779311. That's a good song by The Time, Minnesota Pride. There we go.
All right. Do you know how many people have the name Epic Lads? It's that many. I can't do anything else. I needed to put something original.
No,
that's
I just went, oh wow. Oh wow. What's the first 2 things I could think of? Epic Lad, and I just put 7 like 50 times.
That's what people don't realize is that Mike, it's not actually Mike 123. It's Mike 123 because there are 122 mics before then. Yeah. Mikes, I should say. I don't even want to think how many mics there are.
No, believe me, I've met Mike 93. He's a great guy.
Is he in the Beach Boys or something like that? I don't know.
I forgot.
Speaking of usernames, at least I have an original username. Mine's Junction Malfunction.
Are you saying that Epic Lad 77777 Are you saying my username is not original? It's amazing, dude.
It's subversive. What more could you ask?
It's very
What do you mean
debatable. that's for
debatable?
sure.
I am the pinnacle of the human race, dude. Yeah. Oh, get wrecked.
At least that name's better than
Well, we're all
mine.
doomed in
It's
that
just
case.
At least you could say it without sounding like a robot, like my username, TEHGJPTDDDO.
Yeah, but yours is like genius.
Nobody's gonna be able to track that username down.
Unless they
You put
know
that
the
as a
first
password or
11
something, nobody would.
engines.
I thought about adding Emily to the end of that list,
No.
but it was like she was not one of Audrey's 11, and now I've been getting requests to add like Nia and Rebecca, so that would be like THGJPTDDDOE.
If you don't add
and
Tom, if you don't add Tom Tipper, I will be fuming.
Oh, I'm going to
At
add
that
the
point-
refreshment
at that point, you
lady.
might as well just add Oliver.
Well, Oliver's in there.
Or
That's
Lord
Oh.
Hardwick. Lord, is he in there?
I should just make a channel by the name of THGJPTDDD0, just so like when I when I get rich and famous, nobody comes along and parodies me using that. Now that's what I call pretentious. But yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, Junction Malfunction, for not seeing your comments earlier. I'm seeing like all of them right now. And I also see that William Politeski dropped in for a while. Hi, Will.
Will?
Yeah. We were going to talk about layout wars earlier, but I'm thinking that like I want to give Roman his day, because we were originally planning on doing the stream yesterday, but it's just that like I had finals to work on, and it took longer than I expected. So there was that. So I just lost
Don't remind
time.
me about stupid freaking finals.
Yeah. Don't you just hate it when you need to take a class? Yeah.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Finals are annoying.
The Train Man 13 asks, I'm doing well. What's everyone's opinion on tugs? So do all of us have opinions on tugs?
I love
tugs.
I really enjoy it.
I remember like seeing it for the first time. It was like eye-opening. I was like, wait, it's like Thomas boats.
To be honest,
when I first entirety, please don't kill me.
But the storytelling and the characters are, original and not made by a friar in England.
Yeah. To be fair, like when I first saw Tugs way back, like I think it would have been like 2012. I actually didn't like it. I thought it was too dry, because I was just impatient back then. But I've revisited it over like the past year, and yeah, it's really
dry.
I'm serious, because like I like
you call the show about boats dry.
So when you saw a giant dockyard being blown up and you went, oh wow, this is so boring. I don't find anything enjoyable.
Well, yeah, but you need to keep in mind that the yard doesn't like blow up for like until like about the 2/3, like 1/3 in,
Because so the build up, they're showing how the military is.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't even get to that. I just knew, there's explosions in this one because I saw Enterprising Engines.
It's actually anti-Navy propaganda.
What's my username?
My favorite scene from Tugs was when the funny boomer tug began to sink.
I feel like, I don't know, like one of my favorite tug scenes is when Lily Lightship gets like clipped by the boat, and then it just like immediately, like, I mean, it's obviously Johnny Cuba, but I don't know, I always like that scene.
Yeah. I actually and I've only watched like the episodes the one time, so like which is hilarious, because like I remember I was getting hyped for Tug CGI all way back in the day, when I had never even watched the original, So
I learned about Tug CGI the second it was canceled. Like somebody was saying, "Oh wow, Tug CGI got canceled." I was like, okay, I didn't know that existed, but no. I didn't. I guess I just didn't know about it.
It was one of those things where I was like, I don't want to tell Lemmy about it because like I didn't want him to get discouraged knowing about this great project that never came to fruition. But Lemmy's a man of work. I'm not going to like say, I'm not afraid of that. And I've already been informed that he knows about it. So yeah. Anyway, it's 8:45 right now. So this is typically when we'd start with the Thomas Trivia Challenge. But actually, right now, we're still going to do something. It's still the Thomas Trivia Challenge, but it's a different type of the Thomas Trivia Challenge. And I'm telling you exactly why. We had Andrew on earlier this stream. And as you may know, I've done certain collaborations with Andrew, whether those be crossovers or reviews or his appearances on Late Live. And of course, he was the Thomas Trivia Champion, on the second episode of
Late. Who is the champion of the first? Who is the champion of the first?
Yeah, but that was not the finalized one. That was not the finalized. You need to keep that in mind. But
still in the record books.
Still in the record books. You're darn right. Oh, I'm sorry for swearing. I'm kidding.
I can't believe you.
But it's what I wanted to say is that this will actually be the penultimate episode of Late in Life to feature the Thomas Trivia Challenge, because I'm happy to announce that the Thomas Trivia Challenge is now in the process of getting spun off into its own Thomas the Tank Engine community radio program. Andrew is currently pegged to be hosting that program, and it's going to have collaborations from me and many other members of Thomas the Tank Engine community radio, and we're just currently in the planning process and trying to see the way to make the show as successful as possible and then as engaging as possible. And so once again, if you want to be on that very first episode of the new rebooted Thomas Trivia Challenge, now a standalone program here on Thomas the Tank Engine Community Radio, once again, I have the forum in the chat. Not in the chat, but in the description. So you can go there right away. So, and with all of that in mind, I decided that that it would be I would do something a little different. It's still the Thomas Trivia Challenge because the trivia does have to do partly with Thomas Trivia, but it also has to do with Thomas fans. So right now I have selected, and I'm afraid that, and we're going to do this very differently because we have 4 people in the call right now. But in this, I've taken old tweets from my 2 planned guests here on Late and Live, and
we have to guess which ones.
And you're all going to be tasked with guessing whether these tweets rather, are from Roman or if they're from Mike. So, and we're going to go around the circle, and once again, we're going to be very quiet. I'm going to go in a cyclical manner.
I think I just want to say real quick, since I'm one of the people, you don't need to count me in this because I literally wrote half of the tweets that you're about to bring up.
Yeah.
And I'll just go last, in case I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely me. So
yeah. And so in this case, let's let's go. And I'm going to start with Lester, then go to Epic Lad, and then go to Junction Malfunction with his name now changed to Albert Regibe first. Okay. So the first one is, you silly goose, old iron bridges can't eat fried chicken. So who posted this? Was it Roman or was it Mike? Since there's probably less contemplation in this process, I'm going to go right to Lester. What exactly were you thinking? Who do you think said, you silly goose, old iron bridges can't eat fried chicken?
Was it Mike?
Okay, I have Lester down for Mike. Now, Epic Lad, who are you thinking?
Okay, so what are the two options again?
Roman and Mike.
Okay, so I don't have Twitter, so I'm just gonna have to take a shot in the dark. Roman.
Okay, so you're down for Roman. Now let's go to a junction malfunction. Who do you think said, you silly goose, old iron bridges can't eat fried chicken? Do we have liftoff? I'm not entirely sure. I'll repeat it one more time to see if he responds. Who said, you silly goose, old iron bridges can't eat fried chicken? Well, I'm afraid sleeping on the job is a penalty. So I'm going to just give him a little bit more time before we move on. Right now, I would like to go, since he's probably not going to be swayed by your saying. Mike, do you have any guess as it pertains to who said this?
Well, I know who the tweet is referring to. It's referring to Lemmy for sure. Because, we still refer to him as an old iron bridge. But I could not tell you. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is something that Roman said, but I forget a lot of the things that I tweet out. So.
Okay, that's not a choice. That's a statement. Let's get a little bit more choosy.
So
okay?
I'm gonna say Roman.
Okay. And final call for a junction malfunction. Going once, gone twice, and sold. I'm afraid he has run out of time. So, this tweet, you silly goose, old iron bridges can't eat fried chicken, was tweeted out by Roman. So, yes. So, Epic and Mike, you both get 1 point.
Don't count it for me. I don't want to gain anything from this.
No, I'm going to just tally them just to see, because it might be fun to see if anyone pulls ahead of you.
Okay. No. Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
So our second one is as follows. So, do we have a release date for Troublesome Truck number 5? Is he just going to come out when Oliver does? So who said this statement on Twitter? This time we're going to start with Epic Lad. Do you have any opinions or leanings one way or the other?
All right, since it worked the first time, I'm going to say it's Roman again.
Okay. Lester, do you have any thoughts on who said this?
I guess I'll go with Roman.
Okay, you're going to go with Roman. And Mike?
I'm going to go with Roman on this one as well, because I feel like he's talking about like Bachman stuff, and I know I'm not like into Bachman, but I know Roman kind of is, so that's my guess.
And any comment once again from Junction. Okay. I'm happy to state that now everyone has at least 1 point. So yes, Roman is correct.
Oh.
Yes.
Now we're on to our third question, which includes a link. I'm going to, okay. Actually, yeah, I'll just leave it like that. So number 3 is, if anyone wants a Corey Dustin Mavis, get one while you still can. So who said this? Was it Roman or was it Mike? We're going to start with Lester this time.
Excuse me.
Is everything okay?
You dying there, dude?
God.
I do apologize.
Well, I'm sorry. What did you say? If you said William Politeski, that's not an option. Oh, wait a minute. I have a very interesting. We have an interesting situation on our hands. Because
I swear I'm fine. I just had a cough. I'm sorry.
Okay. So Albert Regib, okay, has once again returned to this land. And to him, since he is technically the third person in our contest, I want to ask, do you have any guess as it pertains to who said, if anyone wants a Corey Dust Mavis, get one while you still can? Was it Roman or Mike?
Should I start going into another coughing fit for no one's answered yet?
Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. I guess since Lester's occupied, I'll ask Epic Lad. Do you have any ideas as it pertains to who said this?
All right, since it worked the first 2 times, I'm gonna say Roman.
Okay, you're gonna stick with Roman again.
That's my game. I'm bound to answer half of the questions right.
Yeah. And if either of you two are,
I guess Roman.
Sorry. Okay, you guess Roman too.
I guess Roman.
And this is still anyone's game. So, and Lester, if you're still coughing, you can post it in the comments as well, and that's completely fine too.
No, that was me who was coughing and dying.
It was you?
Coughing and dying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was getting confused. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
No, I only left to do something right quick.
Okay.
So what?
Just who posted, who tweeted, if anyone wants a Corey Dust Mavis, get one while you still can.
It sounds like something Roman might say, but I guess since I'm gonna be risky and say Mike.
Okay, you're gonna be risky and say Mike. Well, Mike, what do you think about that?
Oh, I said it.
Oh, Mike.
Because I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with Roman again on this one.
Gonna stick with Roman again. Well, you'd be right to do so because Roman is the correct answer, meaning that now Epic Lad and Mike are tied with 3 points, and Lester and Albert Jibby are tied with 1 for third and fourth. Gregory. I know. I just can't say words. So now for our fourth question, our fourth example. Number 4. Retweet for the snow song, like for Winter Wonderland. Who posted this tweet? Let's start with Lester this time.
Oh.
This is gonna be hard.
What was the question?
Oh, who posted this, Roman or Mike? That applies to all the questions that are going to be featured on this episode.
I might say, I have no idea. Can you like skip over me because I have no idea. I still think.
Well, I mean, if you don't get skipped, if you get skipped over, I mean, like if you guess, you still might get a point. It's a 1 and 2 option. While if I skip over you, then it might not necessarily be that.
I guess I'll say Roman.
Okay, you're gonna go with Roman. Now, Epic. What you gonna go with?
Oh no. You know what? It's gonna be a tough call, but I'm gonna do something new and pick Roman again.
Okay, Junction. Let's go. What are you going with?
More people are there. I wanna get as much time as possible.
Come on. We're already over time. Let's go.
It's you're either a Roman or a Mike. Pick.
You either die a Mike or you live long enough to see yourself become a Roman.
Oh no.
Kidding, Roman.
Glitching. Help. Okay, is this better? My internet was lagging out like crazy. Can you hear me at last?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, so in the private chat, I was spamming you. I was like, my mic isn't working. My internet is lagging.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that. It sounds like a Roman. I say Roman. Okay, you're gonna say Roman and Mike.
Yes, join the army.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this was me because I feel like I would be the one to like start a debate over which one is better, and all I'm saying that tweet had better have more retweets than likes because Snow Song is just far superior to Winter Wonderland.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I agree with that. I really agree with that. I went on Trackside Tunes one time, and to be honest, I think both songs are not that strong compared to like other Thomas songs. But out of those two, Snow Song is the better one, definitely. However, unfortunately, you are not correct, Mike. It was not you. It was Roman again.
Yeah.
How?
I will never
Where
die.
are my tweets? Is this just like a joke?
I'm not joking.
Is this a joke?
All the first answers
When are my tweets
and
gonna
the
come
rest are just.
Okay.
Have you just socially commandeered me into like staying here so I can see what so I can hear something that I've tweeted years ago?
No. It was supposed to be a mutual thing. I mean, it's fine. You know, we all forget things that we tweet. I forget things I tweet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so number 5. This is another tweet
By Roman, I assume. I'm joking.
Okay. Number 5. When you bite the peach bites back. Who said this? So we're gonna start with Epic this time round.
Oh heck no. You know what? It's a tough call.
You're gonna go Roman.
I'm gonna have to go with my Roman.
Okay, Junction. What you say? Oh, okay. He says he'll be right back. So in that case, I guess we can go to Lester, since we're not going to be swayed. So what are you thinking for this one?
I guess it's hard because every single other one was Roman, but this one is. I'm not sure if Roman or Mike. So
Join Roman. Join Roman.
I guess Roman then.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, thus we come back to Junction. If Junction is back, that is. Is he? Are they?
If he doesn't come back within the next 25 minutes, we can just assume that 8-Wheel Salty found him and now he's gone forever.
And once again, you can post any of these answers in the private chat if you're having any mic problems. Mic problems. That was both stupidly clever and stupidly stupid.
I don't know why I laughed at that.
Yeah, because it was stupid.
Wait, is it my turn?
I guess it could be. It could theoretically be. Since you have now been proven to not know what you tweeted and what you have.
I think I'm gonna stick with my. I think I'm gonna say it's me this time because I distinctly remember that's from an iDubbbz video where he eats a can of peaches in a storm drain.
Okay. So
And I was really into iDubbbz back in like 2016, so I'm gonna guess myself for that one.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I would have gotten the question right.
And one more time, going back to Junction.
I think he's dead.
Well, anywho, I'll when Junction comes back, I'll ask. I might ask him at the end, so he can maybe regain some points. But in this instance, I'm happy to say that Mike has caught back to pack up with Epic, as they both have 4 points because Mike is the right answer.
No! Why, Roman? Why must you fail me?
This is like Fred Astaire all over again. Okay, so now this one probably is going to be the trickiest out of all of them. So, who posted this? Number 6, roasted at Turtles and Thomas.
Uh-oh.
Exposed.
I will state that this was posted in a joking fashion. It was not meant to be taken as anything rude or anything. Okay, so now since it's number 6, I'm going to open up the floor to Junction Malfunction.
What? I just got back. What's happening?
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll ask you the last one. So, do you think Roman or Mike said, when you bite the peach bites back?
Separate music for this. I'm gonna have to say, not Roman, but the Michael guy.
You'd be correct.
No.
So now you're officially in 3rd place, but wait, we have some more points to make up. That is correct. Did you see number 2? I'm going just to make sure. You remember seeing that troublesome truck number 5? Okay, so who are you going to go with on that one? It's the only fair thing to do.
The question is what again?
Who said
Do we
that?
have,
Who tweeted this statement? Roman or Mike?
oh, sorry. I'm gonna say, ooh, Roman.
Gonna go with Roman.
Roman.
That is correct
Roman
once
did.
again. So now you are tied with Epic Lad and Mike. So now we're gonna go back to number 1. Silly Goose, Old Iron Bridges can't eat fried chicken. Who said this statement?
Goose. Oh, I know. Roman in 2016. I remember seeing that.
Do you remember seeing that in 2016?
Yeah, my memory is very concerning at times. I remember a lot of random things.
Are you sure you're not looking it up?
No, I'm sure. That's when I got Twitter in September.
Okay. Just want to make sure. I want to make sure because that has been something that has happened historically.
Uh-oh.
So I guess with that you would be in the lead, but because you were
I
gone,
feel bad.
since you were not answering promptly, I'm going to slice that total in half. So you earned
Yeah.
3 points. So now
I had to go to
I'm
the
going to splice that in
bathroom. That's
half.
not
So
fair.
now you're still in second place. So you're ahead of Lester.
Oh, okay.
But now you have
Uh,
3.5 points in total compared to Mike's 4, Epic's 4, and Lester's 2. So with that being said, let's jump forward to number 6. Who said this? Roasted at Turtles and Thomas. And once again, Junction, you're kicking us off.
why me? Why me? Michael.
Why not? You gonna say Michael in this? Okay.
I
Okay. Now we're gonna go to Lester. Who said this?
I will say Roman.
I say Roman again. And Epic.
All right. So before I state my answer, I must say this is very important. The Bachman, according to the Thomas the Tank Engine wiki, Bachman released Troublesome Truck number 5 in 2016. Do I get an extra point now?
No. Why?
Because I bothered to do something.
Yeah,
Also, that
but
was a joke. Don't actually give me an extra point.
oh.
Anyways, well, my gut feeling was Turtles and Thomas, but then I remembered that wasn't an answer. So I guess I'll go with Roman.
Okay, you're gonna stick with Roman. Okay, and then Mike.
I'm gonna die on this sinking ship.
Who are
I'm
you
gonna
gonna
say
go
Roman
with?
too.
You're gonna say Roman too. Well, Roman is the correct answer, which means that Mike and Epic are both tied at 5. Albert is still in third with 3.5, and Lester, you're in fourth with 3.0.
I only have a 20% fail rate. Hooray!
That's better than my college.
Well, you know what? But anyway, let's just move on. What's the next thing?
Okay, number 7. Let's go. Number 7. Is there any explanation for this circle under Norman's nose? So we're gonna start once again. You can't see the circle under Roman's nose. Under Norman's nose. I don't know why I said Roman's nose. I guess there is a type of nose called a Roman nose. But we're gonna start with Lester here.
I guess randomly Mike.
You're gonna guess randomly, Mike. Epic, are you still gonna be on the sinking ship, or are you gonna swim to shore?
All right. So, now, is it Norman from like Fireman Sam, or is it Norman from Thomas the Tank Engine?
I'll state it is is Norman from Thomas the Tank Engine.
Okay, that's what I figured. So, with that clever diagnosis, thanks to Taj here,
I feel like that would have really
with great research, I'm gonna have to go with Roman'sTWREmpire on Twitter.com.
Okay.
I'm stubborn. I will not fail.
Let's see if
but I
Junction
will.
is as stubborn as you. Let's see. What are you going with? Don't make me need to split the point in half again. Didn't like it then, I don't like it now.
He's talking about the private chat. He's in the
Talking about the private chat? Oh, sorry. Read in here. Okay, that's all right. You can post there. Sorry, I have that pulled up. Need my mic for a few minutes. Sorry. That's okay. You can just post what you are thinking right in there for no point deduction.
Unless, of course, you get the answer wrong, then you get point deduction. I mean, I guess you don't get a point at all.
What was the quote what they said? Oh, it's already up on the screen. So it's, is there any explanation for this circle under Norman's nose? Okay. The suspense is building. Ooh. Building. And I'm afraid I can't come back to you because you're the last person before I go to Mike, and then it's good night, Vienna. Oh, Lester left right now, so. Hope he's able to get back in. I'll post the link in the chat just so you can get back in. If anybody else tries to get in, just know that the stream is probably going to be over at 9:30. So don't. And I'm probably not going to let you in. This is mostly for Lester. So don't you go pulling any sneaky business on me.
Yes.
And with that, if Epic's response should be any indication, junction malfunction went with Roman. Mike, what you going with? Who you
We're
going
part of the Roman Empire.
I know that I tweeted this because I didn't know what a filtrum was. So
okay,
it's me.
so there we have our answer. Okay, and so now, Lester.
Where did I go wrong?
Lester, okay, so this is the ranking. Mike is in first now with 6 points.
All right, but
Epic in
if
second.
I end up with the most, don't call me the winner, okay?
Okay, that's agreed.
Yes, that means that I can win no matter what. Hooray!
If you lose, I can call you the winner if you want. Actually, that's the fair thing, is that whoever gets second place, just kidding. Epic is in second with 5.0. Lester is now in third with 4.0, and Albert, or rather, I should say, why do I keep on calling Albert Reggie? Junction Malfunction is number 4 with 3.5. I've added someone with the name Lester back. Hopefully it's the actual Lester and not an impersonation Lester. You never can be too
it's
sure.
Me.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. So number 8 is the only good Chrome extension. We're going to start with Epic for this one.
Okay. So, I'm going to have to say...
Why do we even ask you?
Mike!
Oh, wow!
No, I'm kidding, Roman.
Oh, okay. I could
Gotcha.
I could make a leak. Like I could leak what? I could make a rule, a lock-in rule where like the first thing you say is your actual guess, but I'm not going to because I kind of like this running bit. Which leads us to junction malfunction. Who are you going with? Once again, that quote is the only good Chrome extension. Who said the only good Chrome extension? Yep. Once again, I'll read it one last time. 8, the only good Chrome extension. Okay. He said, they say they need to think.
Specifically for 19 seconds.
That's pretty specific. Huh? It's like,
I don't know why he wouldn't just round it to like 20. I mean, maybe he is giving himself 20 seconds, and he just took off a second for typing it.
That's nice.
Very considerate.
Fine, 15 seconds long. Okay. And they're going with Mike. Lester, who are you going with?
I guess I'll go with Roman.
Going with Roman. And Mike, who are you going with?
I feel like this was me, and I either attached a picture of a video of the Filthy Frank one back when I was really into that. So
I don't think it was that, but you are correct in that it is Mike. So, or in that it is you.
what was the Chrome extension that was attached?
I don't know. I have these quotes like pulled up separately. I pulled them up earlier today. I can probably find it for you later at a certain different time.
He's actually just been saving these throughout all the years, and he's like, I swear, if I ever get on a trivia show, I'm gonna use all of these.
Oh yeah. And the ranking is now still the same. Actually, no. What am I saying? Junction malfunction is now in third place again with 4.5 compared to Lester with 4. Epic's at 5 and Mike's at 7, meaning that he's in the lead right now, but we may or may not count that depending.
We're not counting it.
Yeah.
I have to go for a sec. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. And so 9. Go to this quote. And due to the circumstances, we're going to start with, actually, we'll be able to start with junction this time around. This one is, sorry, very good, again, Virga, 89, very good, 85, you're B154, you're BHTRB, TH, you're B9, I want it.
So how
who
did
said
you
that?
get my password for Roblox is my first question.
I'm sorry, my laugh is pretty intense. It's a little bit like Rich Evans. I'm sorry.
Mine is too, probably.
Okay.
I have literal duct tape around the stupid microphone so then it doesn't emit too much sound.
That's good. I like that.
It's not very effective, but for whatever reason, I don't know why. You'd think that like putting duct tape over it would help it significantly, with how strong it is, but it really doesn't. Like, do I need to glue the the actual microphone?
So what you're saying? So what you're saying is that you're gonna go with Roman, right?
Well,
you could pull a dark horse.
I'm a man who believes in creative freedom. Okay. Me being such a creative man, I am now the epic Roman lad 7. Hang on, the epic Roman lad 759233356. A very creative name, I will have you know. And my answers are even more creative. So I'll leave it at that. That doesn't really answer anything, but that's fine. Because I have the ultra rare 2003 Wooden Railway Thomas, and you better not try and step up to me, all right? Because I will knock you down. No, I won't.
Okay, Roman, it is. Okay.
Wait. I mean, you're
Unless
not
you
wrong, but
coward.
you're not wrong. I was gonna pick Roman. I don't know how. I think that you're illegally looking at my notes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Once again, I'm not competing. And so now we're gonna go to
We
yeah.
forgot it.
Let's go to
We
Junction.
distracted him.
Well, he was like gone for a little bit, so
Yeah, I guess so.
so totally lost my train of thought. I'm
Hopefully that
surprised.
is not a pun.
Actually, there's that like story writing concept, like that competition. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm actually announcing I'm gonna write for that competition, and the story that I'm gonna write is gonna be called Train of Thought. So there you go. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. I'm not even joking. I'm actually gonna write a story with that title. I'm gonna enter.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's good. I haven't written a story in like 7 years, but that's because I'm deprived of creative freedom, if you couldn't tell.
Okay. So once again, I'll reread for Junction Malfunction. I'm going to reread. Actually, he already went with Mike, but I kind of want to reread it anyway. So Lester, since you're back, I want to ask you: was it Mike or Roman who said the following statement? I just you 81 years 89 VR be 54 HBA TRH BN 9 TH. I want it. So who said that?
Shakespeare came up with his own words. But this is beyond Shakespeare, and this is beyond. There's no explanation. There's nothing that science can't explain. But this is beyond the realms of science. If you've ever heard that joke,
yeah, this
I don't
is
know where I
like
got that from. I think it's from like Josh Run or something.
Yeah, I think this is like cult-esque almost. Oh, and I think I scared Lester away. Okay, there. I'm gonna add him to the stream again. Here we go.
I think that.
Sorry about that. I think I'd have to say. Who would say that? I guess. Mike?
Roman.
It still is anyone's
Roman.
Mike.
How many questions?
No.
I'm gonna go with Mike.
Last
Why
time
must
I
you
listened to
defy
him,
me,
I got
Lester?
wrong.
Well, I'm afraid you made the wrong choice because the answer is Roman, and Epic Lad is now in second / first. So oh dang it! I didn't let Mike choose.
It's fine,
What would you have went with? I'm sorry.
Probably myself.
Okay. But since you're out of that, I'm gonna make it up to you though, because I have a bonus question. I'm gonna save it for only you, just to see. Okay. Actually, okay. Let me see. So this is number 10. I'm sorry. Messed up. Okay, number 10. Which will be our final one. Okay, I don't care if it's already been done. I've never seen it. Who said this? Was it Roman or Mike? This time we're going to start with Lester.
Oh, I guess I'll have to say Mike again.
Gonna
He
go
did
with Mike.
say
Now
he did say he like he would like I forgot what he said, but he said something like something. It sounds like something he would say.
okay, that's fair. Let's go to Epic Lad, or should I call you Phil Swift? Where are you going? Never mind, I know. Okay, now we're gonna go on to okay, just kidding. You actually.
All right. All right, you know the answer. It's not Mike. It's Roman. All right.
I thought you were gonna throw a curveball at me and say it's not Mike, it's Turtles, but okay.
No.
Okay, and finally we get to a junction malfunction, who is currently thinking about who he's going to go with. Going to go with Roman, the Roman Republic.
The Roman Empire.
And Mike, I'm going to ask you, who do you think said this?
I'm gonna guess myself because whenever I'm just I put on a facade of ignorance and closed-mindedness whenever I speak out about something that I feel very passionate about. So that is exactly how I word some things now. So I'm gonna guess myself. I don't know what I'm talking about in this tweet, but I'm just gonna guess myself.
Okay. And Mike, I'm afraid you are wrong because
Wow.
the actual answer is Roman,
Yes.
which means that currently Epic and Mike are tied given the circumstances. But then again, I skipped over Mike last time. So let's go into a unique bonus round. One more question, and it's going to be very interesting. Okay, so I have I'm going to call this one extra credit because it's kind of exactly what it is. It doesn't apply to Mike because Mike wrote some of these tweets. So it's going to just apply like a normal point to him. So Mike, if you get this question right, you're going to get a bonus point. However, if you also, but in this instance, we're going to go a little bit like Final Jeopardy rules. So using this, it still is anyone's game. So using this, make your guess, and then place an amount of points on your bet so that if you get the question right, those points will be added to you. But if you get the question wrong, they'll get subtracted. So
I think in Jeopardy, during Final Jeopardy, don't they make their wagers first before they even know the question?
No, they know the actually. I think it's different. I think it depends. I might be wrong. I haven't watched it in a while, but we're not going to do it based on that because
I actually love Jeopardy, but
yeah, me too, actually. But here's the extra credit question. This time we're going to start with Epic. So this quote is just about of the blue question. If you've ever seen one, what's your favorite Broadway show? Mine is probably Cats. So who said this? We're going to start with Epic. You have 7 points to wager. You can do all of that, none of that, or half of that, whatever you want.
All right, I'm going to wager pi amount of points.
Okay, 3.14. Okay, that's fair.
Small but infinite. That's my goal.
Okay, so who are you going with?
I'm going to have to go with, and this is going to be a very big shocker. I'm going to have to go with Roman. Ha!
Okay. I was getting concerned for a second. Now we're going to go to junction malfunction. You have 5.5 points to wager. Let's see where you're going to. Who are you going with for this question? You have 5.5 points to wager. Who said this following statement? Just about of the blue question. If you've ever seen one, what's your favorite Broadway show? Mine is probably Cats. And let's go. Yeah, you can choose any amount of points between 0 and 5.5.
Now, in my experience, in order to help me, which of course is your number one concern, I'd go for high, because that way, then if you fail, then I will still be in the lead.
Yeah, but if they also bet high and they're right and you're wrong, then they might be in the lead.
Okay, then. I didn't think about that. Oh no. Don't do high. Don't do high. Do medium. Do medium. Don't do high. Don't listen to me. Just don't bet any of them. Just stay where you are.
This is still anyone's game, so yeah. Okay, so you vote. He's voting Mike, but how many points out of 5.5?
Do all of them. Make me happy and possibly give me hope of winning, which could possibly also end miserably for me.
Okay, so you're gonna go medium, which in your case would be 2.75. Of course, you can alter that if you wish, as long as it's before Mike makes his statement. That same thing applies to you, Epic. Now, now Lester. I almost said Laster. Who you're gonna go with? Who are you gonna go with?
Roman.
You're gonna go with Roman, and how many
Yep.
points for that?
High.
Gonna go okay, and by high you have 4 points to choose from. So do you want to go with the full 4, or do you want to go with 3, 3.5, 2.5?
I'm just gonna go with 4.
You're gonna go with 4. Okay. So, and we have a change from the chat, which is that I always call him Albert. That's just because it's his username. A junction malfunction has bet all 5.5 of his points. So, Mike, who are you going to go with?
Myself, double or nothing, because I know I tweeted this. Because
No.
for the record,
But you
for
get
the
1
record,
point.
For the record, I'm talking about the Broadway show and not the movie. This was tweeted. Let the record show that I tweeted this far before the movie came out.
Yep, all of these are from 2016. So once
I
again,
just
that's it.
lost high amount of points. Oh
Okay,
no.
So that means that Mike, as agreed upon, Mike gets 8 points in total because he only got the 1 point for that because he said he didn't necessarily want to win, and I just did it for that. So then Epic Lad, let's say, I'm just going to round this to the hundredths.
Oh no.
So you have in total, now you have a respectable 3.86 points. So you may not be beating Mike, but once again, that might not be your competition. Now we're going to go to Lester, who hedged all of his wages on Roman, which means that he currently now has a balance of 0. I'm sorry, Lester. I'm sorry.
Yay.
And then, but coming from the outside, we have a junction malfunction, placing 11, replacing 5.5, all of his points as well on Mike. He now has a full score of 11, which means that he is the Thomas Trivia Challenge champion, with Mike coming in second with 8, Epic Lad coming in third with 3.86, and Lester in a distant fourth. So,
well, I got farther than what I was expecting from Roman. I'm okay with this. May not be the best victory, but it's a victory, and I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, with that all, with all that being said, and perhaps some of it not being said, I think our time together has come to a close. If any of you have social media you want to plug prior to our close, that'd be great.
I have one.
Yeah, like it's not like I have anything remarkable going on.
Funk is my Twitter.
Well, I have a singular. I have a YouTube channel, obviously. My YouTube channel is Reading, Reading, because it's the Reading Railroad, not the Reading Railroad.
Exactly. Thank you. For all people who play Monopoly, it's the Reading Railroad, not the Reading Railroad.
Yeah, stop being so mean to me, guys. This is slander. Reading 3640 Studios. That's my YouTube channel. I think I might have like a fandom wiki account called Narrow Gauge Studios. I don't know about that. I don't think that's very consequential at all. I had a Roblox account, but I lost the password. Yeah, I guess
It
there's
just got
only
dug
a
up
YouTube
today.
channel.
What are you talking about? Taj just pulled that out of nowhere.
Well, you know what? Well, I forgot the. Well, you know what? You've got a point there. That's my YouTube channel. Go subscribe to it. I posted like a video probably like 6 months ago now. So, there's a lot of. I deleted all my videos like 4 years worth of content because of COPPA, because I was stupid and I thought that it would take down all my videos. And I was a little idiot. But you know what? That's fine. Because now I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos out of 400 that I used to have. All right, guys. This is such a great time. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't think things through. Please just go on to the next person.
Any more plugs?
Can I plug my Conan pop figure that I can't that somebody's selling for twice?
That's
for
right.
Price.
Yes, you absolutely can.
Okay. Hang on. I don't.
Well, you posted
I'm
in the
holding
chat.
it. I'm holding it. I can't. It might be. It's on the camera. I have it.
I can see it. I can see it.
Here it is. It's not even gold. It's orange.
That's disgusting.
They rigged it. Even though I saw this at GameStop.
It's
right. This is the 25th anniversary. If you can read this from TBS, not TBH.
That's trash. I hate to say it, but like that's.
Listen, man, don't doubt my a giant strike of thunder just rocked by my house. That's very happy.
Well,
if I don't appear ever again, it's because my house is burned down and I don't have access to any of the electronics. But yeah, I guess that's it.
Well,
that's all I have to plug.
Well, before we go, I would just like to thank all of you for joining us in this very impromptu episode of Late in Life with Taj Mahal. I'd especially like to thank Mike 123, who once again was such a great musical guest. What am I saying?
The man became a
we were talking about musical guests, but he was just such a great person to interviewee, I guess, would be the person, the way to describe him. And additionally, I'd like to thank
The Weekend.
Yep. And also I'd like to thank Roman'sTWREmpire, who, despite not necessarily being able to show up tonight, I'm going to make sure that he can show up on the next episode. And once again, this is just very last minute. So I just want to thank him for making himself so available so late into the planning process. Furthermore, more Late in Life to come during the summer months, planning to push forth. Going to get more videos up here on community radio, and also make sure to keep your eyes peeled, not literally, but maybe figuratively, for the Thomas Trivia Challenge. So with that being said, I think I just want to say thank you. My name's Taj Mahal, and see you next time.
Bye.
Okay.
Good day.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Hasta luego.
I have nothing of any value to say, but that's just me.
I mean, neither do I, and I host the show.
Cool screenshot. Is that from something in the air or whatever? I like that episode.
We got to get together sooner or later.